Right in the heart of Paris's left bank, there's this space that is so much more than just a park. The Luxembourg Gardens, they're like a living storybook. This green oasis where centuries of history, amazing art, and the everyday buzz of Parisian life all come together. So let's open it up and take a look inside.
So, here's our plan. We're going to journey through the garden's story in 5 parts. We'll kick things off with the homesick queen who dreamed the whole thing up. Then we'll decode the stories hidden in all its statues. After that, we'll dive right into the vibrant daily life that makes it tick. Really get why it's such a local treasure. And finally, I'll give you some pointers for your own visit.
All right, so where did all this begin? Well, not with some famous landscape architect, but with a queen. A powerful, homesick queen who knew exactly what she wanted. Picture this. It's the early 1600s. Marie de Medici's husband, King Henry IV, has been assassinated, and now she's the regent of France. But she just could not stand living in the Louvre. Too much political drama, and as the stories go, it smelled pretty bad. She was longing for her childhood home back in Florence, the Palazzo Pitti, so she decided, you know what, I'm going to build my own little piece of Italy right here in Paris. And wow, this palace and its gardens have had quite a history. It started as a royal home, then took a really dark turn during the French Revolution when it was used as a prison. But it got a new life in the 19th century with huge redesigns. And today, that palace is the grand home of the French Senate, a key public institution right at the heart of the government. But the garden is so much more than just a nice yard for the palace. It's really a gallery in its own right, just an incredible outdoor museum filled with statues that tell the story of France.
So what's with this number, 20? What does that mean? Well, it stands for 20 amazing women from French history. They're all immortalized in marble, and they kind of stand guard around the garden's main pond.
This whole series, it's called Queens and Illustrious Women, was created to celebrate the female figures who really made their mark on France. You've got women with real political power, like Marie de Medici herself, of course. You've got spiritual leaders like Saint Genevieve, who is the patron saint of Paris. And you've got cultural icons. It's this really powerful, very public tribute to the women who built the nation. I love this quote from a visitor because it just nails what makes these statues so special. They aren't just generic figures. They're packed with personality. This person is talking about the statue of Queen Berthe, who was the mother of the Emperor Charlemagne. And if you look really close at her statue, you'll see she's holding a tiny little throne with a miniature version of her famous son. It's those little storytelling details that make walking through this gallery so much fun. Now, to really understand what Marie de Medici was going for, you gotta know what a grotto is. It was a huge deal in Italian Renaissance gardens. It's basically a man-made cave designed to feel all natural and peaceful, and Marie absolutely had to have one in her Paris garden. And this is what her grotto eventually became, the magnificent Medici Fountain. But get this, its history is just as dramatic as it looks. Back in the 1860s, they had to build a new street, so they literally moved the entire fountain 30 meters and gave it a total makeover. That's when they added the long pool of water and that stunning sculpture of the giant Polyphemus discovering the two lovers, Acis and Galatea. And the garden still has a few secrets. If you sneak around to the back of the Medici Fountain, you'll find a whole other, older fountain, the Fontaine de Leyda, that was moved there to save it from being destroyed. And kind of hidden in plain sight is another amazing treasure, an original bronze model of the Statue of Liberty made by the sculptor Frederick Bartholdi himself. So beyond all the history and stone, the Luxembourg Gardens are just this vibrant, buzzing stage for everyday Parisian life, humming with activity pretty much all day long. Seriously, this place is a playground for everybody. You'll see little kids renting these miniature sailboats and pushing them across the big pond. Others are on pony rides or the beautiful old carousel. And for the adults, you'll find intense games of chess and bowls, tennis matches, free concerts. There's even an apiary where people have been keeping bees since 1856. And the puppet theater. It's been a staple since 1933, and it has the most charming origin story. When the Senate wanted to put a show in the gardens, they couldn't pick which one to hire. So, you know what they did? They let the children of the Senate staff vote on it. The winner they chose was a man named Robert de Sarthis, and believe it or not, his son still runs the theater today.
So you take all of these things, the history, the art, the activities, and they all mix together to create this very specific, unique atmosphere that you really only find in the Luxembourg Gardens.
This quote from a visitor just hits the nail on the head. Lived in. That's the perfect word. Unlike some of the other huge parks in Paris that can feel a bit like monuments, this one feels like a local's backyard. It's a place where people actually live their lives. They're reading, meeting up with friends, playing with their kids. And the contrast is really clear when you think about it. You've got the Tuileries Gardens next to the Louvre, right? They're stunning, very formal, designed to impress you. But they can also feel like a super busy highway for tourists. The Luxembourg Gardens, though, that's a place cherished by Parisians. It just has this warmth and this relaxed, authentic feeling, kind of like a whole neighborhood's shared backyard. Okay, so I'm guessing you're ready to go see it for yourself. Let's finish up with just a few practical tips to help you plan the perfect visit to this amazing Parisian gem.
The best news of all, getting into the main garden is completely 100% free for everyone. Now, for some of the special little attractions, like renting one of those model sailboats for the pond or going to a puppet show, there is a small fee, but you can usually just pay right there on the spot.
And getting there is super simple. It is so well connected by public transit. You can take the RER-B train and get off at the Luxembourg station. I mean, it couldn't be more direct. Or you can hop on several different metro and bus lines that will drop you just a few steps away. In the end, the Luxembourg Gardens wear so many different hats. It started as a queen's dream of Italy. It became an open-air museum telling stories with its statues. And over time, it's evolved into the favorite living room for an entire community. So I guess the only question left is, when you go, what will the Luxembourg Gardens be for you?